I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage Institute. Sorry, there's no visual here. You'll just have to listen to me. Let's talk about human dignity, human freedom, and the direction of government in the United States right now. But before I continue, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, now's your chance to do it right now. That way you get at the same time. Activate the notification bell feature. Be apprised of new uploads here. Immediately below your media player window, you see the thumb up icon. Click on it to easily and instantly share the joy of this channel with others. And then just down below that, in the video description area, you'll see donation by PayPal information. Please make a note of it. There's a lot going on about Donald Trump these days. I know from personal experience with people I know, people even in my family, that division, greater division among people, breaking into two camps with a gulf between them. Those in favor of what our president has got us all into, and those not. There's a lot of talk about what Trump is really up to. There's a lot of talk about this parade, military parade, huge, and he's planning to have on the U.S. Army's 250th birthday, which happens to also be Trump's Trump's birthday. Oh, well, let's just talk about that for a second. I want to give you a personal example here of somebody who's just, I hope you're not one of these, but if you are, then I want you to learn something here. Okay? So pay attention. You listen to this story, little brief anecdote about my brother and I just a couple days ago. And then you decide for yourself if you're one of these kind of people too. Listen. I called him about a week ago. He answered the phone, but it was a really bad connection. We tried to talk, had to hang up. I called him back. Still bad connection. I tried to say, I'm standing over by the door with the door open, with the phone. I'm yelling as loud, I'm raising my voice and putting my mouth right up to the microphone. He could still barely hear me. He said I was cutting in and out. So I just briefly said, because my brother is an ex-Marine, or according to any ex-Marine, they're still Marines. He's 80 years old now. He was a Marine, okay? And he likes military stuff. He likes military history. He likes to keep up on that stuff. Semper Fi. Okay. I thought he'd be interested in knowing about this. So I said the best I could on the phone that he might be interested in knowing that Donald Trump is organizing a large military parade for on his birthday in Washington, D.C. And he said, my brother said, I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to talk about it. And he hung up. Well, I thought there was a conflict going on. So I wrote him a letter, a nice letter, indicating that my perception of what just had taken place, what ended the phone call, how it ended, was correct. Well, then No, I'm not going to have that from my brother. And I mentioned in the letter that, past experience in our family has shown that trying to straighten out a misunderstanding can be fraught with danger and peril. And I'm not going to have a conflict with my brother. It's not going to happen. I indicated I am afraid of conflict with no person. And in the end, I will always win. But conflict with my brother, who used to call me buddy when I was a little kid, would be an atrocity. And I'm not going to let it happen. So I said, therefore, we'll get some closure on a couple of things we were, collaborating on. And after that, a couple of weeks or so, that'll be all the contact there will ever be unless emergency dictates otherwise. And I said, that makes me very sad. I will always love you. And if you go first, I will remember only good things. Well then, he left a message with my wife saying I had it wrong. So I thought, well, that's good. Good. So then we had to get some closure on one of the two things left to do. We scheduled that, and it was just a trip to the bank together. But, I expected him to also tell me why I had it all figured all wrong. He told me, he was at lunch with a couple of people right then, eating. He had put the speakerphone on for convenience. And it was a really bad connection. All right, so it was getting to be frustrating. And then when he heard this thing about a parade, a military parade, Donald Trump in Washington, D.C., I hung up because I didn't want the people I was eating with to hear this shit. What the hell? To some people, Trump's everything, from a fascist to a dictator to a hater of everybody. Parade. Not going to happen. No. No such thing. And I said, well, I just wanted to know if you had heard about it, because, I played kind of like stupid, but really I just did not want to ruffle feathers, right? I had had my say. Now, in my letter, now he can have his, that's all. He got rather emphatic, it's not going to happen. And he swore it's not going to happen because it's not been in the news. And he said, hey, ABC, NBC, Fox News, they're all receding into the background. They're kind of like dwindling in popularity. Now the big thing is Newsmax, and I think they're rather level-headed. They're down to earth, so I haven't seen a thing about it. It's not going to happen. A parade. I mean, like dictator style. And I said, well, yeah, I guess maybe. He said, it's not going to happen. That's that. Okay, there's my anecdote. Now, by now, that was just a few days ago. I'm kind of like keeping up on this thing now. Because, oh, by the way, the next evening, after that, brief conversation with my brother, I found a video, all I did was look up Trump military parade. One of the first things that popped up was a video, what was it, the Washington Examiner, showing, the video starts right off with Trump talking to some woman. The camera's right there. And she says, like a military parade. And Trump says, look, this was not photoshopped. It was not voiceover. it's very clear that Donald Trump was standing there. You could tell visually, you could certainly hear him. Yeah, there's going to be a big parade. We have the greatest military in the world. It's the Army's 250th birthday. And yeah, it's going to be a huge, huge parade right down Pennsylvania Avenue. Oh yeah, coming right up. And the woman asked him, "Doesn't that happen to be your birthday too?" He said something like, "It's money well spent." He just avoided that one. Okay. My wife texted him a link to that video. Now, see, it doesn't matter whether it was Washington Examiner or, the ultra left, thing, whatever. It's the president saying it. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth. There's no denying it. We send him a link to that. I haven't heard anything. Now listen. In other words, he was dead wrong. And he was so sure of himself. So, listen. I don't talk about anything to anybody without knowing how to back up what I'm saying. I don't do that. Just like I said in that letter to my brother. I am afraid of conflict with no person. In the end, I will always win. Well, there was a little bit of conflict going on there with my brother, and he said, no, by now, that his little brother is well educated and knows how to think and doesn't come along with bullshit. But his mind is so clouded. So clouded in so many ways. So clouded in so many ways. Can you perceive that? Huh? Is that the way you are? Is it? Ask yourself and answer to yourself, honest, bright. Is it possible that you are dead wrong about this situation? The general one that I'm talking about here, that I said was our topic in the first place here. Just how blind could you be? Ask yourself that. Ask it. How many times have you been wrong before in your life? How many times have you been hoodwinked, bamboozled, had the wool pulled over your eyes? How many times have you trusted the wrong person? How many times have you spit bullshit out of your mouth? That means somebody else's ideas, swearing up and down it's really this other way, and found out you were dead wrong. Where do you get your beliefs in the first place? What makes you think, if you're like my brother, that if it's not on the news and TV, it ain't happening? It's not happening. That's just a little example. Where did you learn to trust that source of information? Where did you learn things like people like Donald Trump won't ever have a military parade like a totalitarian would do, like all those other countries? Where do you get all your beliefs in the first place? You don't want to just listen to what other people say, or what you hear, or what you read, or what people say because they say that they know. Well, where did you get everything you believe? Huh? Somebody told it to you. Long time ago. Most of it was a farce. Right now, folks, we have a situation going on. I'm not arguing one side or the other. Pro or con, anything except pro you. Need to pay attention to what's going on. You need to be honest with yourself. And maybe you need to beef up on your critical thinking skills. And maybe if you're one to go running your mouth about what you believe, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, without looking into what you might have just now heard to instigate your blabbering, you haven't looked into it for yourself before you run your mouth and spread venom, spread ignorance, spread blindedness. Spread destruction whether or not you mean to. You need to wake up, get serious, get honest, and take a close look. Because especially if you're in the United States, what kind of a fucking jerk are you going to feel like if you've been wrong? And you wouldn't pay any further attention to it. Mastery of self by self, that's this channel. Personal evolvement, that's this channel. Establishment of true selfhood, that's this channel. Movement away from consciousness hijacking, that's this channel. Movement away from perception deception, that's this channel. Human dignity, human freedom, human sovereignty of self. That's this channel. That's what you came here for. Now you want to know how to apply it, what's going on in the world, that all of that might be pretty good to have on your mind while you're considering events. Here's your assignment. I just gave it to you. Now go. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it. Activate the notification bell feature at the same time. Click on the thumb up. Make a note of the donation by PayPal information. Act on it. Act now. I'm Turk Strawman, current resident at Mind Voltage. Be well.